welcome, guys. Greetings to another episode of Unbranded Change. Well, season 3 right now, episode 1. We've got the talented Noluthando Mabaso, who's Miss Teen Tourism Universe 2021, with us today. We're very happy to have her today. She's going to share just some nuggets on what she's learned so far during her journey, and a few other tips as well to aspiring models. If you look at the modeling, the beauty industry and modeling and pageantry, there's a lot of young kids out there who are passionate about it. So maybe they're gonna learn, even though she's not at the pinnacle right now, at the top of the rankings, if you may say. But I think she's won maybe some very good titles so far. So welcome, Noluthando.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me today, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to help whoever has the same questions of which you're going to be asking and assist them in any way that I can.
All right, thank you very much. We've also got, I'm not alone, I've got Haley Musami, who's my co-host today. Haley, welcome.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be speaking to you, Noluthando.
Hi, nice to meet you, and it's also an honor speaking to you, Haley.
We've also got some guests, welcome guests here at the platform. We're very happy to have some listeners today. So we're just gonna get right into it. As we usually do, we're gonna start off with some words of wisdom. It's usually a quote. So just gonna quote someone who may be very familiar with very familiar with her name rather. It's Basitsana Kumalo.
Yes.
She's a very experienced model. She's been through it all. So here's a quote from her. Actually, two. The first is it's interesting how, as you go through life, you see and understand different things when you are ready for them. They get illuminated in your spirit in a profound way. And the second quote which I got from her is hindsight. She says hindsight is the best science. And I know now that when I picked up and learned from my mother, was the best informal education and training I could have ever received. So that's Basizana. So, we're not sure resonates with as well. We're gonna find out. So Noluthando, I think we're gonna have to ask you first of all how you get into modeling. You could have 100 other things. Why modeling, and who supported you and pushed you towards this field that you're on right?
Thank you very much for the question. The reason why I chose modeling, growing up, I was bullied in primary, of which it did play a role in my life, of where I continued with the hurt, because you don't really get over the fact that you have been bullied. You just grow and improve yourself as an individual. So growing up, I was bullied in school because I had a very tiny body. They would say I was very thin. So I felt very different amongst my friends. And I would go home every single time, and my mom has a full wardrobe with heels. I would wear her heels and wear her clothing. I would walk around in the house. And doing that as a child, it just felt right. I felt like this is me. I'm a heel girl. I'm a dressed up girl, and that is who I am. I'm just that girl. I'm that princess. So I watched my first Miss South Africa, and watching Miss South Africa, I was very fascinated seeing black young women expressing themselves and not being afraid of what other people are saying, doing the best thing that they can into helping the community. And seeing them, I just got so inspired and I was like, I want to be like them. I want to stand there and I want to represent myself and I want to stand in front of my country and tell them that I will make the difference that I wish to see. So that is how I started modeling. I saw that and I wanted it so bad, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. And no matter who's on the boat with me, no matter who's supporting me, I'm gonna do this because that is where my mind is. And the passion started as a child growing up. And the support is my parents. My parents have my back like nobody's business. They're always there for every competition that I go and watch. When my mom is available, she's there. When both my parents are available, they both are there. And in everything that I want to do, they always the ones to be like, yes, you're doing it, you got this, and we have your back. So my family support is number one. It's the best thing, and it's the thing that motivates me the most. The fact that I know that my family has my back, it pushes me to even strive more.
Fascinating. I think, but we've also got, we almost forgot to mention Thato Mashile. She's won the pageant, the same pageant, I think, in
Yes.
2020. Yeah. So welcome aboard, Thato. You've just listening to Noluthando. What are your thoughts on her story, if you've not heard it before, and have you had maybe sort of a similar journey right from the start?
Hi guys. I'm so sorry about that. When Noluthando started speaking, I only heard the end. Like it's as my thing only joined in at the end when she said her family members are her number one support. That's all I heard. So I'm not sure if she mentioned anything else.
Yeah, she's basically saying that she was bullied as a child, and she got her inspiration from watching other pageants, in particular Miss South Africa. But she got strength from that despair, and she's been able to stand up and be bold enough to get into the pageantry business, the pageantry competitions. So how did you, just briefly, for those who haven't heard so far, how did you get into the pageantry?
Okay, so guys, again, hi guys, I'm Thato, and if I have to share my story of how I joined pageantry, I actually just recently joined pageantry, I think about 3 years ago. I was in grade 10. Yeah, things were a little bit tricky on my side. It had nothing to do with bullying, but it's as if I was fighting battles alone as I was going through a lot, and I didn't really get encouragement, although you're surrounded by a lot of friends. And then for me to actually stand up and be my own person and not exactly follow along with the crowd, my mom made me join modeling. And from there, it was like starting off as fashion. And then I had a coach who encouraged me to join pageantry. And that way, at least I would stand for something and find myself. So because of that, I am who I am today, and I'm able to join pageants, and I'm able to do what I came to do. I'm able to stand for something and motivate others with it.
Just out of curiosity, have you ever participated, both Noluthando and you, in the same pageant?
Yes.
Which
Yes.
one?
Miss Teen High School Mpumalanga, right?
Yes, it was Miss Teen High School in Mpumalanga.
Mpumalanga.
And who won eventually?
We were both selected into the top six, and she got Miss Photogenic, if I'm not mistaken, and I got the first princess.
Okay, I'm gonna toss it over to Haley. Haley, it's over to you.
Thank you. Listening to both of you speak about what keeps you motivated and supported, and you both spoke about your parents and Tato, your mom. I just wanted to ask internally, because the way we speak to ourselves is so important. What keeps you guys persistent in your career?
With me, I would basically say waking up in the morning every single time. I have put a priority to give myself self love before I receive love from other people. So I'll wake up in the morning and look at myself in the mirror, and I will say self affirmations to say that I am strong, I am confident, I am beautiful, and I can achieve everything that I set my mind on. And feeding my brain the right information, feeding my brain the right knowledge, speaking to the inner me and speaking to the Holy Spirit that is within me has helped me stay grounded, and has helped me motivate myself. Even though my parents are not there for me and they're speaking to me every single time, they're telling me I can do this. But as an individual, I made the decision, and making the decision from my mind, I've been able to control that. I'm always going to be motivated no matter what. Even if I get rejected, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do this because I have already told my mind that this is what I want and I'm going to get it. And I feed myself that information daily, and feeding myself daily, it becomes one and one with me. It's not something I will just do. So feeding myself daily with my affirmations and motivations, and watching motivational speakers on YouTube has encouraged me myself to be able to carry on with the journey, even though I face huge obstacles.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. It's so powerful. Tato, would you care to speak to that?
May you please repeat the question you had asked?
Yeah, no problem. It's what keeps you motivated and persistent in your career.
Thank you. What keeps me motivated is basically what I stand for, and that would be, if you have to put it in a picture. I'm sorry, I'm an artist. I love drawing. So if we have to put it in a picture, it would be a starlight, a yellow starlight. Even though yellow is not my favorite color. So as growing up and everything, whatever people would say to me would never really bug me, but it does get to me as it is. I was dealing with a lot. So what kept me motivated is just a picture of a starlight, and that would keep me motivated. And as time goes by, what also had to keep me motivated is how I treat myself, especially when it comes to my own health, because that would be really tricky for me as I was in and out of hospitals. So what would keep me to stand up for myself and keep going, not to give up, to keep pushing, keep climbing and everything, it would always be looking after myself, taking care of myself, treating myself well with love and respect. So everything had to do with how I am with myself.
Cool, thank you. My next question is or regarding the art of modeling, what would you tell aspiring models are a requirement to make the most of modeling as a career? Like in terms of like there's a certain height that you need to be, the fashion sense you need to have, your age, social media, sponsors, stuff like that.
Well, now in the modeling industry, height does not really matter. But with fashion, some fashion shows do require a height. And for that, I don't know, you can ask them if you wear a longer centimeter heel, a longer inch heel, will that work or will that be fine? But other than that, I'll mostly motivate inspiring models to do pageants as it is. Pageant is really fun. You can also do fashion within pageants, as you'll be having different rounds in what you are wearing, how you are dressed, and in that way you actually get to enjoy more of modeling.
Thank you. Noluthando, you can go.
With modeling growing up, I have had been told with information that you have to be a certain height, you have to be a certain body size, you have to be certain length or what color and so on. So growing up, modeling was put in a certain box of where you have to be like that. But times have changed and more opportunities and more doors have been opened. Now there are different types of competitions of where there are competitions where they require a certain height. There are competitions of where you can be any body type and you can be confident, of which I am very happy and pleased that our society has came to that acknowledgement, the fact that everybody is beautiful and unique in the way that they are because we are born that way. And you find people that are confident in any body type and then at least they are not limited to what they can do and cannot do. It's just a pity that there are certain competitions that you have to have. It's like you have to be a certain height, you mustn't be married, you mustn't be that and that and that. And coming with the fashion trend, being a model, you have to go with the fashion trend. But in wearing the fashion trend, put yourself, put your unique print in that fashion trend that is going on. Because certain people, certain models lose themselves in the fashion trend. They wear whatever the models are wearing at that certain time, of which it's not something they like, and they lose their confidence in wearing whatever is trending in that certain point in society. So when it comes to modeling, I feel like the best thing that a model can do is just be confident, to know the person that you are, know what you like, and know that this is what you're willing to do and this is what you're not willing to do, because it's okay, because you're going to do something as a model that you're not happy with, and in which in the coming few months or years you're going to look back and you're not going to be happy with it. So when it comes to modeling, just do your research, go under certain agencies that require what you have, and if they require something that you don't have, you can just inquire and ask, and whether if you can take certain measures to reach what they want, if you badly want to be in that certain industry or in that certain agency, of which now there are multiples of agencies that have multiple requirements, of which I believe that anybody can fall under. Just you have to just get the right information and the right agency with the right motive. Anybody can really make it if you really want to be a model with the way society has grown.
In terms of agencies, would you say that it is very much so required for you to be a part of an agency to actually make it as a model, or could you just like freestyle it?
With me currently, I'm freestyling it. I haven't been under any agency ever since I started modeling, of which I am looking into entering in an agency probably next year. And reason being, I wasn't under an agency. Financially, at that time, I wasn't able to go under an agency, and right now I'm leaving in a few weeks. So entering into an agency right now, it's like I'm already going, and when I come back, I'm gonna be focused on the title, hopefully by God's grace that I will be receiving, and entering into an agency would rather be in Joburg because it differs with the cities that you're in. Currently, I'm in Nelspruit, of which Nelspruit is still a growing city, and currently we do have modeling agencies, but that are not as broad or stable as agencies in Joburg or Cape Town. So when I'm located in a city that has the right agencies that will be able to help me grow, then I will be under an agency.
That's really exciting. So would you say that financially, you do also need to secure a lot of sponsors? Do you know how you would go about doing that, like securing sponsors for you to actually model?
Yes, one thing models they don't really mention is that modeling is very expensive. You pay for a lot of things. But with determination, you are able to get sponsors. There are people that are willing to actually assist. It's just a pity that, as the whole world, we have suffered from COVID, and you do send out sponsorship requirements, and they do come back and say they can't sponsor you because financially, a majority of the businesses they still trying to pick up from the COVID. So you can get sponsors. You just have to be very grounded because certain sponsors do take advantage of you. You get someone that's going to be like, I can sponsor you, but only if this and this and this happens, then I can sponsor you. Basically, taking advantage of the opportunity of which you need help, and they know that you need help. So that's the only problems that you might find with sponsors, of which I do advise if you have an adult that is helping you get sponsors, and when you go to meetings, you go with that adult just to create that barrier to say, I'm here with someone that's an adult, so respect me, and there'll be kind of like respect between the sponsor and yourself. So to get sponsors, you can get sponsors, but it is very difficult. You just have to be very determined and be able to take rejection and just keep on going forward and ask for more sponsors.
That was very insightful. Thank you. Wongani, back to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna drag you back, Noluthando, and you as well, Thato, to the Miss Teen Tourism Universe pageant. And I'm gonna ask, once you've won, or maybe you've come second place, what are your roles and responsibilities? And is it only mainly limited to Mpumalanga as a tourism destination, or is it actually nationwide?
That pageant is actually nationwide. It's not limited to a specific province. It's not limited to a specific province, and yes, anyone can do it and everything, but yeah, the competition is nationwide.
Yeah, so Noluthando, you've won it in
Yes, I have.
2021.
Yes, I've obtained.
When does your term end? Roles and responsibilities.
In obtaining the title, I obtained it last year, 18 September in Durban. And in obtaining the title, I've gotten the responsibility and the honor to be the face of Miss Teen Tourism Universe. And whatever I do, I'm holding the brand while wearing the brand. I'm representing the brand, and being that model. So being that model is doing community work, of which I enjoy doing community work, is assisting the people around me and doing outreaches, helping people in a bigger mess. Because of the title that I hold, I am able to get assistance, a lot of assistance as much as I can. So being the model is, I've become my own, basically, I've become the counselor of the people around my community, young girls that look up to me. So my responsibility comes in being taking care of the brand itself. The second one is doing community work. And the third one is also growing as an individual while being the title holder. And marketing Miss Teen Tourism the best way that I can, so Miss Teen Tourism can grow and make the difference in as many young girls that it can, and also be able to advertise South Africa as being the best destination for tourism, because it is. So doing my research, traveling South Africa, because I am in the tourism department, and being able to know that this is what South Africa stands for, this is what South Africa represents in the tourism industry. And since I've obtained the title, I have learned quite a lot. Some things that I didn't even know about South Africa in terms of tourism, that we are actually a really leading country when it comes to tourism because of our natural riches that we have to offer. So being the model, it comes with a lot of responsibilities, of which you have to ask my director has been very open, so I'll also ask her, okay, being the face of this, what do I have to do? What comes with the title? What are my responsibilities? And she has explained that, of which, being the face, I have to be always social. I have to, when they are finalists, I have to interact with them, motivate them, let them know they can do this, because it's not an easy journey. Entering a competition is not an easy journey. The preparations they can really suffocate you. So it comes with a lot, but with it coming with a lot, it's the best experience and it's the best journey that I've decided as an individual to take.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thato, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't have anything to add.
Right, just briefly, Noluthando, you've also started your own foundation, or you're in the process of starting one. Is it a separate endeavor from the pageant itself?
Yes, I am in the process of starting my own foundation, and my foundation is basically based on a girl child and a boy child. I have, growing up, I basically wanted to have an orphanage center, but I was like, I can mix it around and have an academy of where I train young girls and boys on how to basically behave and how to be the best person they can be. Because once Zozibini Tinzi said, and of which it's still in my head till today, when she was like, as young people of South Africa, we need to take up space. We need to be the leaders, and the leaders that leaders need to give us the opportunities to be able to lead. And me growing, I want to look down and have young girls and boys growing to be the best visions of themselves. So my foundation is going to be helping young boys and girls to grow and be the best visions of themselves, to become leaders, become young leaders of South Africa, and be able to handle their lives and be able to build a strong foundation for their own future, to make the difference that I wish to see, to make the difference that I wish someone had told me, to give them the information that I wished someone had told me. So having that information, I want to share it and I want to make that difference. And I want young boys and girls to know that it's okay for boys to know that it's okay to be emotional, and for girls to know that I can be confident and I can wear whatever I want and be confident in whatever I'm wearing, and I can be a black child and be open to society and not feel threatened because I'm a black child.
That is absolutely wonderful, Noluthando. We wish you well in that space as well. Um, so before I hand it over to Haley, I've got two questions for Thato specifically. The first is we're seeing the pageantry space moving moving online. For example, you were part of Miss Central not so long ago. What are your thoughts on that? Is it sort of a limited space? Is it not exciting that much? What are its flaws? And the second is to end on that. There are a lot of pageants which focus specifically on teenagers. I've been doing a lot of research. There are a number of them. How do you think this one is different from them? You've been able to experience this from start to finish. What are your thoughts on it? And how is it unique and exciting more than the others?
With the second question, are you asking me if the Miss Central pageant is more exciting than other teenage pageants?
No, that's Miss Teen Tourism. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, with the first question, the Miss Central one, right? It's actually not a teen pageant, it's a Miss pageant. Yes, it was online, and there was a reason because of that. There was the closing. There was closing there was like I couldn't pass the border. I couldn't. How do I say this? I couldn't go to Ghana for it. So the whole competition was done online, and reason being, the first reason why it was done online is because South Africa doesn't have a pageant called Miss Central South Africa. So given that my national director, Miss Ntombi, gave me the title of Miss Central South Africa after going through few questions that I had with other queens from South Africa from other competition, and then I just won it through that. I had to post a video and be asked an on stage or an online question, and then answered that perfectly, and then we carried on. Then I carried on holding the title as Miss Central South Africa. And then as we were supposed to go to Ghana for that competition was nice, but because we all couldn't go, as Zambia, they had their own reasons of not going, just like I had mine. We did the competition online because it was broad anyways. We were allowed to do it online. And then with that, it was a lot, and it was a lot of work because also the other contestants started interfering online problems. So I would prefer if the competition could be done face to face than online. And that was like the only bad part about the Miss Central competition. But other than that, everything was nice. They actually teach you. We had our Zoom classes, or let me say our Zoom workshops, and we were introducing each other to our countries. And then we had a competition to see who can advertise their countries a while. And looking on the results of how it was online, South Africa really had my back. They commented, they liked, they pushed the videos, and it was so amazing. And yeah, that's how the whole Miss Central was working. And then with my second question, I did mention that the Miss Central is a Miss competition. It's not a teenage competition. So I can't really put them in comparison because it's already on different age groups.
All right. So just a quick one, Noluthando. You going over to the Philippines in a few weeks, if not days. What is the how did you get into it? How did it happen? I haven't heard Thato of having to go overseas for that from the Miss Teen Tourism. So what is the pageant actually? I haven't found its name. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
In obtaining the Miss Teen Tourism Universe SA 2021, I was given the opportunity to go and represent South Africa in Philippines, Manila, on which on Instagram it is Miss Teen Tourism Philippines, that it's under that platform. So in going to represent South Africa in Philippines, it has been a very tough journey. I didn't think that preparing for an international competition was so challenging. It was very, very challenging, of which some days I would wake up in the morning and I'll tell my mom, I'm not going. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm not going. This is too much. I can't do this. And she would be like, we're doing this. You're going. We're doing this. And 30 minutes in, I'll be like, okay, yeah, we're doing this. It's very, very challenging having to prepare for the competition because they do take out compulsory lists and certain fees that you have to pay, and it's really a lot because you go in the faith of saying you're going to present yourself and the country and the pageant the best way that you can, and having faith that you will win the competition and come back. And if I were to say that going to Philippines and I don't obtain the title and coming back, yes, I have the experience. The experience is what I'm looking forward to mostly, and the knowledge of which getting to meet other girls across the whole world is, for me personally, it's amazing. I never thought at my age I'd be traveling internationally to go represent my country. It's just that you always have to have that faith, saying that you have the passion for it, and hopefully the judges see that also, that you have the passion for it and you badly want the title. So it's a competition, and in a competition, it's all about who's gonna win at the end. So it's just that's the bad part that comes with the planning for an international pageantries, that you have to be very positive, because if not, you are going to be depressed once you come back and saying you didn't obtain any title because of the amount of time that you've put in, the amount of effort that you've put in, because it's a lot. And thinking of how much money you have to spend here to get sponsors, and sometimes you don't get sponsors that will be able to pay for even half of the things. Probably only 30% of the things are paid from sponsors, and then 70% is all from your own pocket. So it's just also all about the passion of how badly do you want this, and that is what pushes you. And this planning for an international competition is very, very difficult, but the journey is amazing because it challenges me also as an individual, where I'm like, I never thought I could do this, but I'm actually doing this. So it puts me really out of my comfort zone, which I really love that, and really love being out of my comfort zone, because it shows off how far can I go and how hard can I strive for what I want. So yeah, that's how the planning has been going so far. I am leaving in 17 days to go to Philippines.
Uh, well, from our own comfort zones, we want to vote for you. So if there's a voting system, we'd take part in that and vote for you.
Please, I really
Um,
appreciate.
yeah, so Haley, it's over to you if you've got any more questions.
Thanks. I just have two more quickly. This first one is for the both of you. It's how do you train to be a model, and what would you say are the steps you need to take to compose your portfolio?
Personally, for me, the way I've started with training to be a model, I started with YouTube. I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos on how to walk in heels, and I started from the normal level of 3-inch heels, and going to now I can wear a 7-inch heel and walk confidently in a 7-inch heel. And with the training, the best now that I know, the best thing to do is to go under an agency for the walking, because there are certain steps that you must take, and because there are different types of walks. There's a swimming costume one, there's an evening gown one, there's the runway one. So if you can't get as much knowledge as you can, depending on the competition that you're taking part in, I was only using YouTube because I was taking part in local competitions and so on, until now that I'm taking part in an international competition. I am taking private classes with an agency because I'm going to an international competition, and I will be competing against professional models that are under agencies and that have been probably doing the journey for a longer period than I have. So it depends on the competition that you're going to, and how professional you want to be or how good you want to look. So if using social media to get the knowledge that you want is not enough, it's best that you go under an agency to teach you certain steps on how to sit, how to answer certain questions, how to how to carry yourself as a model.
Thank you. Tato, what would you say are the steps that you need to take to compose your portfolio?
Okay, so what I would say first that I would go with is that you should get comfortable. You should get comfortable in what you're gonna wear and how you're gonna walk, the makeup you're gonna have on. Because if you're not comfortable, how are you gonna keep going? And then number two, if you when you want a training or if you're taking further steps into modeling, you should obviously stand for something so that you don't lose yourself, you don't feel bad for anything, and you're able to keep going. And then in that way, you will know what you want, and it'll be easier for you to at least know. It'll be easier for you to motivate people within the industry and everything. And also steps to preparing yourself into doing that. You should watch previous competitions, and that way you can see how they work. As you can, as you heard Noluthando saying that she was on YouTube checking how others would do it, and now she's having private classes. Also, you can also watch like previous competitions, see how they were walking, how they were doing their turns, how fast or how slow they were walking. In that way, it will at least give you some sort of indication of how to do it. And if they give you, I know with our director, she gave us the previous queens and numbers each time. She does that every year. So what they can also do is ask questions from the previous queens. In that way, it will also help you calm down your nerves. It will give you more confidence, especially if they are heartwarming, opening up, and actually helping you. And then if you can ask questions, do that. So that will be the best ways to prepare yourself.
And Tata, what would you say lies in your ability to pass on the crown to the next person?
Sorry, you were saying?
What would you say you have to lies in the ability to pass on the crown to the next person?
Discipline.
Discipline.
Has
Thank
to
you.
be discipline.
It's been so nice to talk to you both. I wish you the very best for your future pageants. Noluthando, for the Philippines, they're not going to know what hit them. We're supporting you all the way. Um,
Thank you very
good luck.
much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we edging closer to the close right now. I've just got three last questions I've got for you guys. It's been fun having you around. So Noluthando, the first one is for you. It's what you're studying at the moment. You've chosen mining engineering, so and part-time. So how did you get onto that, and which university or college are you studying at?
Currently, I am not studying, but I will be obtaining my starting my studies next year when I return. The reason why I've decided not to be studying currently is because with going, I didn't want my academics and my pageantry to clash because last year I had to go and compete in Durban while I was writing my trials, of which it had a very huge strain on me, of which I did speak to my parents about it and they were very supportive with it because I did tell them that I am going on with the competition and I am going internationally, of which they were very okay with it and they were in support. So next year I am going to university. Hopefully, I will be going to Wits by God's grace to study mining engineering.
Just in 30 seconds, why mining engineering?
The reason why I chose mining engineering, my family is a family of mining. My dad has been in mining for the past 25 years, and I've always seen him go to work. And with him going to work, I would go with him. And going to mining, I have seen on how you look at the ground as something useless, but the amount of value that it has and the amount of change that it can make, and knowing how gold holds South Africa and the amount of raw materials that South Africa has to offer, I was like, I want to be in this industry because I once imagined myself as a raw material being going through the production of being something way valuable that everybody can see and not knowing that this was one this was once something everybody thought was useless. So that is why I want to go into mining because I'm a gold lover. I love gold. I've seen and how the process gold and it's amazing process and I was fascinated and I was like, this is what I want to do and I'm gonna do it no matter what stands in my way. So mining to me is it's all about the rich natural things that the world itself, the earth itself has to offer. Nobody comes and plants gold in the ground. It's just there. It's not human made, and to me that is what fascinated me, is that dealing with something that is not human made, something that God made, of which I will be able to help others discover and manufacture and become something that everybody else can see and not knowing that it just came from dirt.
No, that's wonderful. It seems like you've done your research and you know what you're talking about. And there's a lot we could talk about when you talk about mining, but we wouldn't want to get into politics and stuff. But just the last question before I close it off, for both of you, what's next for both of you? And I'm gonna give you a time frame of 5 years. So in 5 years' time, specifically in pageantry, what's next for Noluthando and Thato?
For me, what's next in the coming 5 years is my foundation will be standing and I will be taking part in Miss South Africa. I will be a graduate in mining engineering and I will be running my family businesses and I will be the youngest businesswoman in South Africa. That's my 5 years.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Wow, wow. In my 5 years, guys, I'm hoping to make it at least on a billboard in terms of modeling. And then I also want to do fitness modeling, which I'm already starting to study for fitness training. And in 5 years, hopefully, I'll be able to have my own architect's foundation. Although I'm going to start with architect first, but in 5 years, I want to make it and be a quantity surveyor. Thank you.
All right, guys, we wish you all the best going forward. It's been fun having you around. Thank you so much for your time. I'm gonna close it off with a quote from a philosopher who's also a model as well. And so she says, I live by saying, a wise person learns from his mistakes, but the wiser person learns from the mistakes of others. I believe the only limit there is the one you set yourself. If you can't change something, then change your attitude. In life, you need to make an impact, make a mark, leave a legacy. Everything is in the mind. So that's my philosopher. I'm gonna follow very close from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much, guys. It's been fun.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this and looking forward to another interview when I return.
Definitely. Goodbye, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.